Good morning and welcome to Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE and online at kvre.com and iHeartRadio. Alongside Tracy Simpson, I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, big week in the sporting world this week. How are things going in your neck of the woods?
Well, I'm going to tell you what, so many activities, Mark. I know we keep saying this week in and week out. I mean, everything you can think of going on in the world of sports, all the big three, of course, happening, but also football? What? What?
Football in May?
What? Huh?
Yes, absolutely. We are officially 1 week away from the start of the inaugural season for the Hot Springs Wise Guys. These guys have been all around town, meeting the Hot Springs community, generating the hype for that big May 31st season opener. General Manager Chris Goodman joins us on the show this week to give us a behind-the-scenes look at the team. Chris, good morning. Thank you for joining us. You have been quite possibly the busiest man in Hot Springs. How are things going as we're 1 week away?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, it's been crazy. This morning I'm actually picking up a new player from the airport, driving them down, and taking another player to the airport to leave. I mean, I'm doing everything all over the place, but it's been absolutely amazing. Hot Springs has welcomed us with open arms, and we're ready to play.
So, Chris, let's go behind the scenes a little bit. A brief history lesson here. Of course, you're tapped as the head guy to help get this program, off to the running start and off the ground, building it from the ground up. What did that process look like once you were tagged as the guy to get it all done?
Yeah, so initially, the league took care of a lot of stuff, renting the arena, all that kind of stuff. But then when I came in, for the Arkansas fans out there, I'm going to steal a Calipari quote. When I came to that first team meeting, there was no team. So, I came in. We had to get the head coach out here, Coach Bones Bagante. We had to start recruiting players. We had to set up really the exact foundation for the team. But it's been going great. It's been an awesome process. And like I said, I couldn't be more proud of where the organization's at right now.
Here's the deal. A lot of folks have known about this type of arena football stuff, but they really don't know the proceedings and what you have to go through to get these players and to establish the rights in the city and the behind the scenes. It's a little tough to get things rolling at first because of the rules and regulations and such and finding a town. But we've done that here in Hot Springs. But give a little bit of insight on that as far as, the difference in the majors and the pros and the cons. It's just a little bit different, isn't it? The size of the field and everything, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we play on a smaller field. It's designed to fit on a hockey rink. So, if anybody can picture a hockey rink real quick, just throw a football field down on top of it, and there you go. We'll have the walls and all that set up as well. Fans, rather, are able to sit right there up against the wall, basically on the field. And then, we play a 7 versus 7 style of play, whereas outdoor football is 11 versus 11. We'll have one offensive lineman versus 5, one defensive lineman versus 3 or 4. This league is in arena football, period, are built more around offense and a lot of high scoring, a lot of, moving around. But the players and the skill level is still the same. We got a guy from Oregon. We got a guy from Illinois. We got guys from here in Arkansas. We're hoping to get a Razorback signed today or tomorrow to come out here and play for us. So, it's a smaller field, smaller roster, but the talent level's there. And then, with the community, being so new, I'm born and raised here in Arkansas. I know that, pro teams have come and go that. So it's really just about us getting out here.
And Chris, something I know that you were super excited about as well was welcoming Bones Bagante as the head coach of this organization. Tell me what that leadership has already looked like, with the new guys coming in, the guys that maybe have been with you for a little bit, but as we get set for week 1, tell me what you and Bones have been planning on in order to get that first win, start the season off right.
Yeah, so Bones is absolutely amazing. And, to everybody out there, that's his legal first name is Bones, which I think is awesome. A mafia-themed team and a mafia history city, you got a guy coming in named Bones, that's pretty awesome. So, he's been great, though, ever since day one. Our communication with each other has been great. And he's exactly who I would want to lead this team on the field. He's got the experience. He's a Hall of Fame receiver from the University of Cincinnati. Then he's a Hall of Fame receiver in the arena professional world. He's been an offensive coordinator. He's been a head coach. He's won championships as a player and as a coach. And he's somebody that came in and immediately the players, they looked up to as like, he's been where I want to go. So there's nobody better to listen to than him. And then, his ability to put together an offense, I think in a league that's, dominated by offense, I think what he's about to put together on the field, a lot of fans are going to be like, wow, this is amazing. When we're scoring 70, 80 points a game, it's going to be great.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Now let's go back. Let's say, getting back to the regular tactics of the football game itself. Now you're saying linemen, 7 players. What's the structure of the offense, and what will we have? Receivers, linemen, quarterback. How does that look as far as lineup?
Yeah, so we'll have one offensive lineman. That'll be our center.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we got a quarterback, a running back, and then the rest will be all receivers. Wow,
man, you talk about the true semi-West Coast offense. That's just shooting all from the hip right away, buddy. That's high scoring, high exciting, man, right there, isn't it? Goodness.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and our receivers, like I said, we got a receiver that played at Oregon, a receiver that played at Illinois. Like, we've got some really great, talented guys out here that, our quarterback, Jordan Ambrose, and our other quarterback, Jackson Davis, they'll be able to swing the ball around, get it out real quick, and then these guys will be able to make some moves, make some plays, and get some scores on the board.
Now, Chris, of course, the first game coming up on May 31st, the season opener there at home. You guys have been really hard at work behind the scenes to design this field and get everything ready. I saw on social media you guys are still looking for singers for the national anthem. I told Tracy we should probably let that one go.
Gosh, dog it.
But obviously, with your dance team coming in, I mean, we've got the full package ready to go. I think the city of Hot Springs and the surrounding areas are going to be very, very impressed with what they see on day one.
Yes, sir. It's and I tell people, as the general manager of this team, I'm probably more open and honest than any GM in professional football. The organization's not perfect, but nothing ever really is. But we're a bunch of blue collar hard workers down here with the Wise Guys, and that's what I think is a representation of Arkansas itself, and that's how I wanted this organization to run. So there are still things we are working on and we're getting done, but yeah, if you guys want to come sing the national anthem, we're more than happy to have you.
I would be that guy. I would study the words all night, and I'd still get them wrong, and I'd be so embarrassed, and I would go viral for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Of course, Chris, one of the biggest questions here is, we've seen you guys all across social media. We've seen you out at Magic Springs and out at the mall in Oaklawn and just everywhere, just getting your name out there, getting your face out there, seeing pictures with you guys at restaurants and over at NPC. I mean, what has the community outreach looked like? And tell me more about some of the things that you've been doing to get the word out in the community and get face-to-face with the city of Hot Springs.
Yeah, so I got to give a big shout-out to Lauren Hatton and Melissa Blayton. Those two ladies kind of run our fan engagement business development department, and they are absolutely amazing. They work almost more than I do trying to make sure that our players are known, the logo's known, because there for a while we were walking around and we had the horse logo on our shirts and everything, and people thought we owned a horse at Oaklawn or something. And so, we had to do a lot of work to distinguish ourselves as, a football team. And then more and more people have started coming on to it, and, the support's been there. You mentioned it. We've been at Magic Springs. We've been at all the various restaurants around town. We're just trying to give love back to the community that's loving us. And that's something I hold dear to my heart as the GM of this team, is I want this community to know that we care about them just as much as they care about us. If they're coming to our games, screaming and cheering us on, we want to come to your restaurant and eat and make sure that the love is returned. But no, the community, I couldn't ask for a better place to play than Hot Springs and in the state of Arkansas, because it's just such a supportive state, especially for its athletic programs and everything we've got going on. And, man, I can't wait for next weekend.
Well, getting down to brass tacks, let's do this. How would, if somebody, a regular fan out there, if they want to get on the schedule, if they want to find out where you guys are going to be, when the game is, I guess when kickoff is, so to speak, how do they find you? Where do we go? What website?
Yeah, so you can go to hotspringswiseguys.com. That's our website, and then we're very active on social media. So if you just look us up, Hot Springs Wise Guys on any social media platforms, we're on there as well.
And of course, let's talk about tickets as well, because this is the place to be. Everybody's going to want to be there to see history, to see the very first game. The Eau Claire Axemen are coming to town from Wisconsin and a long drive. We want to make sure that they remember that drive back home to Wisconsin with a big loss in week number 1. So about tickets, what can you tell us about where to get tickets, what they cost, other packages that might be available? Let's give the fans the entire rundown here.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to check, but the best seats in the house, of course, the more expensive ones, we have these things called field level suites, and I think we only have one left, but they're pretty pricey. They're about $6,000 for the season, but they come with special concessions. They come with VIP parking. You're right there next to the players on the field. I mean, they're just an awesome place. If you and 8 friends want to come to a game, for this season, they're the best seats in the house. But then, like me, I'm not, just a millionaire made of money. I want a better seat. We've got the celebrity seats, which are $45 a game. They're right there on the field as well. You just don't get your own field level box or anything like that. Then we go to VIP, 35, premium seats, which are 25, and then our discount tickets, which are 15 apiece. We are doing $5 off for child seats, so you will have that. And then, if any of your listeners, I'll throw out a special promo just for your listeners right now. If they message us on social media and say that they heard me come on the radio, I'll give them a 25% discount on tickets.
All right, Mark, that's the text. They can hit the text line. We heard it straight from
That's a pretty huge deal there, of course. So you message Hot Springs Wise Guys on social media. Say that you heard Chris Goodman on KVRE. 25% discount. Hey, that's a great deal. That's a really great deal right there.
What's our quote? What's our say? We want to see the wise guys, or we want to be a wise guy?
Yeah, I know a lot of the team right now, they've come up with a thing where they're just saying "stay wise." That's what the players have started saying. That's what they've come up with, and I've kind of let it roll. I kind of like it.
Okay, yeah. Do you want that on the text line?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
All right, hit the text line 501-915-1300 and say, hey, I want to stay wise. That's it. And we'll get the discount going to them. Good job there, Chris. Way to go.
Chris, thank you so much for joining us on this week's show. We could not be more excited for the Wise Guys to get started. I know that this has been a huge passion project for you. A lot of hard work, a lot of long nights and long days have went into this, and we are so close to the starting line. We cannot wait to hear the roar of the crowd May 31st for the Wise Guys and the Axemen. Arena football is here in Hot Springs.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me on. Go Wise Guys.
All right, man. Good deal. Segment 2 coming up. We got more here, the Tailgate Edition, man. Mark, we're stacked and racked.
That's right. Don't go anywhere. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition continues in a moment on 92.9 KVRE.
Second quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition 92.9 KVRE. Hey, we're on iHeartRadio as well. He's Tracy Simpson, and I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, postseason baseball and softball is here, and the Razorbacks are red hot exactly when they need to be. It has all the makings of a really... Everybody's starting to believe that I think something really big could happen here. And it all started off with some national attention this week. Arkansas's Vahiva Aloy named the SEC Player of the Year in baseball, the second Razorback in program history to accomplish this feat, and the first since Andrew Benintendi in 2015. Go White Sox, by the way. Was also one of 5 Razorbacks to earn all SEC recognition from the conference's 16 head coaches, and Arkansas placed a league-leading 4 players on the All-SEC first team. We saw this coming for Aloy. His name means the prized one, by the way, Vahiva's is. And he's been one of college baseball's most electrifying all-around players this season. In 55 games, the Hawaii native slashing a team leading 358 with a 440 on-base percentage and a 677 slugging percentage. He has 18 home runs, tied for ninth most in a season by a Razorback, and his 58 RBI is huge for this team. He leads the SEC in runs scored and base hits. The junior has done just about everything he can, except maybe get everybody in the fan base a Hawaiian shirt to cheer him on his way to producing one of the best offensive seasons ever in Razorback history. A well-deserved honor for Eloy this week.
Well, no doubt. The prized one.
Yes.
Okay, and so to speak, a very deserving name, no doubt. And you're right. He is well-deserved on that one because just watching him, if you've kept up with baseball this year, watching some of the plays, and if you haven't, I encourage you to go watch the footage. You can tube it or whatever you want to, and it's got cuts of everyone. It even has ones from his debunkles because he was also the league leading in errors too, and so it was something special. And even some of those ones that they laughed off, which didn't cause a game, or anything to alter anything, it was pretty funny on those because they were plays that people wouldn't even think about trying to make, but he still tried to make them, and it didn't happen. But just seeing some of the highlight reels that I watched the other day was unbelievable. And not only that, I'm going to go here in just a minute, Mark. So put your thinking cap back on, and I don't mean the tinfoil.
I didn't bring it this week.
Okay, all right. So, but let's go to shortstops in all the ears, and quite a few of them, and be thinking not just on his caliber of offense, but defense combined, both in the field and at the plate. I want to get your input on who he reminds you of here in just a little bit.
Okay.
Because the guy is something special. I've already got my player who I think just.
And I already know who you're going to say.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. So, but just because what happens when you got players around, when you're the best, the players around you, what do? They thrive off of you. And you've seen they've got the most double plays this year. It's unbelievable. And then, of course, you've got a third baseman who I thought should have been also. Okay, I'll just be honest with you. I think he should have made SEC either one or two. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
The guys, I'm just saying right now. But as it is right now, well-deserved. Now, my question to you, two different questions. You ready? Okay, who does he remind you of? And then also, is he gone? Is he going to stick around?
The shortstop that he reminds me the most of is Cal Ripken Jr.
God, okay.
And I know that's what you were going to say, and I stole it from you because we agree on pretty much everything.
Dude, took my thunder.
I could have saw that coming from a mile away.
Okay, all right.
But the longevity that he's got, the ability on offense and defense, obviously he's not anywhere close to 2,000 plus games in a row on the college level or anything like that. But the way that you can count on him and the way that he's doing things, when I think about Cal Ripken Jr., I think about unbreakable record. I think about a guy that does legendary things that other people will never be able to touch, only be able to dream of. And you can see what Eloy is doing here. One of the best offensive seasons in program history. Is he gone? I'm assuming you mean, is this it after this season? I would say it depends on where the other Eloy goes. Because I think that they're a package deal as far as they can be a package deal. Think it's unreasonable to say, well, they'll get drafted by the same team, they'll stay together forever. It's probably unreasonable to think that, but I think that family matters a lot to this family in particular. But also, the other Eloy, Kuyo Eloy, was also named to the All-SEC first team, so we can't make sure to leave him out. Also, Charles Davalon and Zach Root get first-team honors. 4 Razorbacks making the first team. Very, very impressive. But if you ask me and say, all right, what do you think is going to happen? I think money talks. I think money talks, and I think he's earned the right. If let's say Arkansas goes all the way this season and wins the World Series, my philosophy as a player is you try to end on top where you can. If Arkansas goes all the way, wins the World Series, I say yes, because there's nothing else to achieve here.
Yeah.
Leave while you're hot. Don't stay and cool off and then you're not. I don't think Razorbacks would run him out of town, but I technically am on record saying that Arkansas can be one of the most toxic fan bases in college sports. you live or die based on what have you done for me lately.
Reminds you of Philadelphia.
Well, we are kind of like the Philadelphia of the NFL, but just down here in Northwest Arkansas.
Wow.
So if they win it all, I say yes. If they come up a little bit short, I could see the opportunity where they come back one more year, unfinished business, let's finish the job, and then maybe go from there. But man, what a great opportunity that these guys are sitting in right now. And of course, it's not just baseball either. It's softball too. Bree Ellis continuing to make a name for herself in the 2025 softball season, and she was named Player of the Year by Softball America on Monday. I mean, Ellis has been putting up impressive numbers all year long. She's third in the nation in home runs. She has 26, played in all 55 games for the Razorbacks, scoring 64 runs on 58 hits with 72 RBI. I mean, she is a walking run when she comes to the plate, no matter what the situation was. I remember the big grand slam from earlier this year to help put the Razorbacks up and over for the big win. She's the first player in Arkansas history to be named Player of the Year by any major softball publication. She's also the first ever SEC player to win the award since the award began in 2019. She's one of 4 Razorbacks recognized by Softball America, the others being Robin Herron, who is a second-team All-American. Ella McDowell and Peyton Burnham were selected for the freshman All-American team. This is a team that is obviously really, really good right now and has an opportunity, well, let's just face it, really, really big game tonight against Ole Miss in the Fayetteville Super Regional. I mean, a trip to the World Series could be in store for this Arkansas Razorback softball team this year. First pitch at 8 o'clock tonight, by the way. I mean, this is a team that just bludgeons opponents on the way. The Oklahoma State series, I mean, getting that run-ruled win. Arkansas clinched its 4th Super Regional appearance in program history, its first in 3 years. All signs point to this team doing some really amazing things after they take care of Ole Miss tonight.
Well, and here's the kicker right now, just like you said, they are, and we've said this time and time again, they are on the road to, I mean, phenomenal things. But when the teams that are hot, and when they're hot, they're hot. When they're not, they're not. And they're coming at the same time. They are hot. And that's the kicker right now. They look like they're the team to beat. And that's the team right now. Now, here's the deal. You're going to say the sooner, the better. And right now, until they prove a little bit better point, because the Sooner dismantled them, I mean, literally dismantled them earlier in the season. And until you get over that, then you can start talking about winning the whole thing. But in other terms, but it would be pretty cool if the softball and baseball team won it all.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time that's happened in a sport where baseball and softball both won the World Series. That is a stat that I don't have in front of me.
What? Dude!
That's a stat that I don't.
Moo-moo.
Listen, I'm not putting the moo cow before the cart, man. Listen, here's the deal. They got to take care of business here. We've talked about this all season long for the baseball squad, falling short at home in the Super Regional.
Yes.
I mean, it's
time and time again.
Exactly. So they've got to get back over that hump to get to Omaha. I'm going to let that play out as it will. Okay. I'm not going to talk about big picture. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to get there in the end, but they have to take care of business. They're closing in on that hump. Once they get over that hump, we'll talk about it. And on the softball side, once they get into the World Series, I know Oklahoma's out there. I know the Sooners are out there waiting, but I also think that there's another level that's achieved by once you make that dance and you're there as one of those final teams remaining, throw the records out. All bets are off. It really feels like the start of a new season, a short season, but there's so much on the line and anything can happen.
No doubt. No doubt.
And you may not be the best team out there in terms of record or whatever numbers in front of your name, but we said it all the time on this show because we believe it to be true. Sometimes it's the hottest team not necessarily the best team.
Oh, true. Yep, we will find out, and we'll have more of that coming up next week probably, but third quarter's right around the corner.
We have a lot to dive into when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition continues in a moment on 92.9 KVRE.
Third quarter coming up.
And we're back. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition 92.9 KVRE with Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, big news in the NFL world these days. I know games aren't going on, but a really awesome opportunity for players going forward. You know, NFL players, you start at a young age, maybe you're playing flag football and pee-wee, and you go up the high school ranks and the college ranks. Everybody wants to get to the league because the pinnacle of the sport here in America is hoisting that Lombardi trophy, getting a Super Bowl championship ring. But now a new level has been added to the game, and I think that aspiring players are going to want to try to take their love of the game to even new heights, because now, for the first time ever, NFL players are now eligible to compete for an Olympic gold medal. The big news coming down this week, that NFL players are now going to be allowed to participate in Olympic flag football beginning in the 2028 Summer Games. This decision allows players to participate in flag football at the LA Olympics and also in the NFL. The vote went down on Tuesday. It was unanimous. All 32 owners in favor. Now, specifics on which players can participate and how many players per team is still yet to be determined. A resolution will likely need to be agreed upon by the NFL, the Players Association, the Olympic officials, and national governing bodies. But the proposal looks like it's going to come with the limit of one player per NFL team on each national team participating, and then every player under contract will be allowed to compete in tryouts. Tracy, this is a really big deal. Of course, for the first time ever, Olympic flag football is going to be played during the 2028 Summer Games, and you think about the popularity of the NFL here in the United States, and, we have some games sometimes in London, and, we'll trickle down to Mexico and, other parts of Europe, but largely the world has not really grasped onto the game the way that the U.S. has. I think this is going to be a very big eye-opening move that can help the sport continue to go globally.
Mark, here's my question, though. Okay, like you were talking about, the pros are playing over in Europe and Germany and England and such and making their rounds. And now last year they played in Japan. And not as prevalent as it is in basketball or baseball, but there's still some players that are not from the United States.
Yes, that's right.
So will they go back and represent their country, so to speak? And I mean, what I'm saying is there's going to be a lot of rules and regulations that they still have to go through.
Yeah, I would think for some of those players that are internationally born NFL players competing in the United States right now, maybe they go back and they represent their home country and they help build that team for their home country.
Right. A lot of Canadians.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of Canadians. So, for example, but also in Europe as well, I'd be very interested to see how that plays out. This has been about 5 years in the making. Right. The IOC approved of flag football becoming a sport back in October of 2023. During the 2024 Summer Olympics, Philadelphia quarterback Jalen Hurts was named the ambassador of flag football for the upcoming 2028 Summer Games. And there have been several players who have expressed interest in participating in the flag football tournament at the Summer Games, including Patrick Mahomes of the Chiefs, Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill, and even Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. So I think, obviously, the United States will be very well represented. Now, if that proposal comes into play where it's only one player per NFL team, you would think the U.S. is the favorite going into this thing, because they'll have the largest amount of actual NFL talent on its roster. But hey, you never know. The way that the sport is growing, and I know that it's not really being played. Tackle football is not really being played anywhere else except here. But I think it'll be super big for growing the sport, and I think it'll just be really good from like a patriotic standpoint. Being able to represent your home country, whether it's the U.S. or one of these other countries as well, being able to represent your country and win an Olympic gold medal. I mean, that is an achievement that so very few people have been able to achieve on this planet. It would be a really big deal for the game. I'm super excited that there wasn't a whole lot of red tape to getting this done.
Well, Mark, I think, though, like you said, this started some 5 years ago, and we've already seen the preview of it with what they do already before the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Now I know it's a little bit more fun and but they get serious, by third or fourth quarter. And when it starts narrowing down to the end, they start getting serious. And you can see, even though the two brothers are coaching and everything else, hey, they want to win that game. So you've already got a little preview. I think that's what we're expected to see. The question I'm going to ask again right now is, of course, We've already done this in basketball for years now.
Yes.
Okay. And we have sort of something like this with the other baseball as far as the
World Baseball Classic.
Baseball. Why isn't baseball doing this? Why is it not in the Olympics? Now, I mean, this is food for thought. I didn't want to disrupt our conversation
I know that
on football.
the Little League World Series is international.
Correct, but why? This is the Olympics. Why are we not doing this in baseball? We already have enough teams to play baseball. Everybody's in baseball. They do it with hockey. They do it with their.
That is a fair point.
They do it with soccer. They have the Soccer World Cup. I mean, that's even bigger than the Olympics if you have some of the footballers. But as it is, I'm just curious. It took them just this short amount of time for football, and yet baseball's been around this many years, and they haven't done it. I mean, I'm really, because then you would have some real competition. I mean, some real competition. If you look at the majority of the players on in MLB, think about that.
So a quick Google search tells me, Tracy, that baseball is returning to the Olympics in 2028 at the LA Olympics. So it is, but you're right. It was previously a medal sport from 92 to 2008, and then once again briefly in 2020, but COVID, but baseball was also just a demonstration sport in 1984. So baseball is coming back in the 2028 Summer Olympics, because you're right. You make a very good point there. So obviously someone's thought about it before you did. But
I have another thing, though, real quick.
Okay, what's the other thing?
Do you think that maybe it's because the United States wasn't the favorite going into winning the gold?
In baseball?
In baseball?
Yeah, that's probably true.
That's
probably true.
Okay.
That's probably true. It's probably Japan.
They shuffled football right away because they know. But in baseball, baseball been very good to me.
I think that this is such a big deal for the sport, whether it's baseball or football, growing the love of the game, showing the world what it's all about.
Exactly.
It's hugely popular here, and there are so many sectors of this planet that still are like, wait, what is this? This is not the football I'm used to. And it's just a very big eye-opening experience.
I love flag football, man. I think it's so cool. How big is it getting here in the United States?
It's getting very, very big.
The league's here
because you reduce the risk of injury, you increase the chance of longevity within the game, and really just startership for the game as well.
It's affordable too. You don't have to go out and get helmets, pads. Obviously you got cleats, but
that's right.
Everything else. Think about this, and even smaller schools. Okay, smaller schools can do this.
Yes,
and you don't have to break them up like we well know we've been a part of already. When you don't have that many players, but still you have a compassion. You have kids that want to get out there and play. Plus, you can mix and mingle.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So co-ed, boys and girls are involved there, where for the large part now, technically, young girls are allowed to compete in Arkansas high school football. You just don't see it happen very often, or if you do, it's typically a kicker, occasionally a lineman. That's about it. Participation is just not quite there. But growing the sport from the ground up through the flag football ranks, of course, I coached my first season of flag football last fall. Loved it. Super competitive. Overly competitive.
Yes.
Some of those dads are crazy.
Yes.
Some of those dads should not be coaching.
They need a flag.
Anyway.
I'm going to leave it on that one.
We're gonna take it to the next level here. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs a little bit, Tracy. Of course, the 2025 NBA Conference Finals have tipped off. 4 teams are fighting for a spot in the finals. The number 1 seed Oklahoma City Thunder are still in, and they've had a pretty good run all the way up to where they are right now in the Western Conference Finals with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The 6th-seeded Wolves are in. I don't know if you had a chance to watch Game 1, but it got ugly pretty fast. SGA with 31 points. The Wolves led this thing midway through the third quarter, but the Thunder had that 17-2 run to just take it across the finish line. Double-digit lead heading into the fourth quarter. Oklahoma City still looks like the team to beat here. Did look potentially like Anthony Edwards may have sustained a little bit of an injury in that Timberwolves game. Looks like he's going to be okay, though. But just, give me your input on this game, on this series here. Is anybody stopping OKC right now? They've got the number 1 defense in the league. They've got an offense brimming with youngsters. They're super healthy right now. SGA is certainly the MVP, best player in basketball right now. They look like it's theirs to lose.
Stop right there in your tracks, Mark. I'm still going with you. with your Pacers. I'm
I
just
know.
saying with you. I know the series is tough with the Knicks. I already know that. It may go to Game 7. I don't care. But I still think they've got what it takes to take on Oklahoma City. Now, here's the deal. Here, any given night, Oklahoma City can lose. I mean, look what it took them 7 games to get where they are now.
This is true.
So, and the Pacers, here's the only difference. You were saying young team, Oklahoma City. Yes, but the Pacers have the veterans on there that have been in a position before.
Yeah, I'm a big Tyrese Halliburton fan right now. And of course, to make it to their second straight Eastern Conference Finals. When we were talking about our brackets coming in, I said Indiana was going to be there. I did think it was going to be against the Boston Celtics. You can't predict injuries, right? But now that the Celtics, and look, the Knicks have won against the teams that are in front of them to get where they are here. You're talking about Game 7. I don't think so. No. I think Indiana's going to punch its first ticket to the finals since 2000, regardless of who makes the finals, regardless of who wins the finals. I love when we have a brand new champion. I believe this is 7 years in a row.
7.
Or if they new champion every
7.
single year. I love that. That's healthy for the game. It's great for the league. The Knicks, I believe it would be their first title in, I think, 52 years.
It's been a while.
And then for everybody else,
the Frazier. Wrong Frazier. Sorry.
The Oklahoma City Thunder won a title in 79. They were the Seattle Supersonics back then. So when you're talking about the franchise's first title, I mean, OKC is right there in the mix. The Timberwolves have never won a title. The Pacers have never won a title. Someone is going to make history this year. I'm super excited to see who it's going to be. I still have Pacers and Thunder in the finals. My original prediction is still intact.
Yes,
I think it will make for an excellent series. But OKC has been as advertised. Surprisingly, Denver was really, really good, even though they fired their coach going in. They had everything they had, a little bit of gas left in the tank, just couldn't get across in that Game 7 loss to the Thunder. Boy, what a great couple of series we're going to have here, both in the West and in the East.
I'm still working on some tickets too. If Oklahoma City, if they go through, I'm working on some tickets.
Count me in.
I'm working on it. Okay?
Count me in.
You good? Can you pay for the parking? I'll get the seats. You pay the parking.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. They're about the same, but that's fine.
I'm working on it, okay? All right. But I'm going to tell you this, though, right now. Okay, let's do this. You've been Pacers, and I've been on your bandwagon the whole time. Let's don't go yet, but let's see who makes it in the finals. But if it is, you're sticking with Pacers all the way, right?
I'm sticking with Pacers all the way, regardless of who comes out of the West.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And I know that may be an uphill battle against a really good OKC team.
Well, they got to get through the Knicks first, okay? I mean, name 2 players from the Knicks.
Randall and Brunson.
Okay. That's what I'm telling you right now. If those 2 guys get hot, could be a problem. Maybe. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see
what happens. But here's the deal. Here's the kicker right now. If I get tickets to Oklahoma City, I'll pay for the parking too. I promise you, because I won't pay for the tickets to get into OKC. Oh man!
Hey, maybe we can just put on some fake mustaches.
I was going to say, yeah.
Get us some fake league passes.
Get us some blue. Those
hey,
light blue,
with the team.
Those light blue jackets for the security guys.
Yeah,
parking guys.
Yeah. Well, apparently you know how to get past security at professional sporting events, so I'll just follow your lead. Okay.
I like that one.
All right, fourth quarter coming up. Don't go anywhere. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition continues in a moment on 92.9 KVRE.
Fourth quarter coming up.
And the fourth quarter is here. Sports and Shorts Tailgate Edition, 92.9 KVRE with Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. Tracy, we stay in the NFL for a moment here with obviously big meetings going on all week long in Minnesota. And there were a lot of rules and potential rule changes that were up to the bat and maybe not getting across the finish line. One of the big stories we talked about a few weeks ago on the show was the tush push and the Green Bay Packers submitting a proposal to ban the play. Of course, this play heavily used by your reigning Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Also, the Buffalo Bills using it quite a bit last season as well. And the tush push statistically has been paying off for each of those teams. The Eagles and the Bills, of course, ran the play the most often. They were also the most successful, scoring a touchdown or a first down on 87% of their push tush attempts. while the rest of the league, outside the Eagles and Bills, basically any time it was ran, were successful 71% of the time. I don't know about you, but if there's a play out there that works 71% of the time, I'm running that play 100% of the time out there, Tracy. This push by the Packers comes up just short. Maybe needed a tush push from the Packers. I don't know. They come up short by 2 votes, 22-10. The proposal needed 24 votes to pass. It only got 22. Now, the Eagles were all in favor of let's keep this, and there were some other teams that joined them as well, most notably the Ravens, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Lions, also in support of Philadelphia to keep the play moving on. Your thoughts? Push tush, here to stay.
When was the Bills one of them also? That was for it? Do you know that?
It was not included in the story,
Okay.
no. But if I remember correctly, I believe Coach McDermott was in favor of maybe taking it away.
Well, because here's the deal. If you recall, Mark, when we looked at this, 2 or 3 weeks ago or whenever it came out, the teams that didn't want it were the teams that were getting beat by it. Okay? Well,
I mean, pretty much. And the Packers. I mean, the Packers got beat handedly by the Eagles by this move.
Exactly. So you saw, and I guarantee if you go back, which I know you're the numbers guy, and next week we'll have this for you, we're going to find out because I guarantee you the teams that utilize it are the teams that were for it. Now,
Yeah.
the Bills did utilize it. I'm going to just say, because when you got a quarterback, even though he's trimmed down to 225 or whatever he is now, he's lost 25 pounds, they still utilized it. Now, the concern there, of course, a lot of weight. A lot of meat on that line, and
This is true.
And when quarterbacks do it, they somehow, if they don't find themselves on top, they're usually on the bottom.
Yeah.
And you can really have something happen to you. I'll be honest with you, I've been at the bottom of one of those piles when I couldn't breathe, and it's not fun. But at the same rate, I probably got the first down or even a touchdown off of it. So
There are merits to the discussion of taking away the play.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think when it comes from a team like the Packers, it gives off the notion of we got to get rid of this because we're losing to it.
exactly.
A different approach might have different results there. And down the line, this could still come up for a revote in years down the road. And it all may be dependent on what you just said out there. What if somebody significant, quarterback, gets hurt?
Mark, can I go back? Let's go back. Back in the day, as they say, before there was face masks and even that, they called it the plow. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They literally called it the plow. And teams they didn't pass as prevalent as they do these days. And so they came up with literally the plow. And what it was they mounted every guy in the middle right there, not just for the two, but they got everybody right there, and they just went forward with it. And that was something they did back in the 40s. And, of course, there was probably a few broken noses and maybe something else. But this is nothing new. They came up with a new verbiage, a new way of doing it, a new way of winning. And so this is nothing new to it. I don't know why they're crying about it. But more than likely, you're right. They will come back probably down the road, and once they get beat again by it, they'll say something else about it, or they'll come at a different angle, so to speak. But this is nothing new. If you look back, go back in your history of NFL, they've been doing this for eons, and I don't think it's going to go anywhere. I do know what's going somewhere is one certain Caitlin Clark.
We'll get to Caitlin Clark in a second here, but I want to get to one more rule change about the NFL here.
Another one?
Well, there was another vote that happened. Of course, I know the tush-push ban failing is the one that's going to dominate the news stories, though, but another one kind of squeaks in here. NFL owners approved a proposal to allow teams to declare an onside kick at any time during a game, as long as they're trailing. Players on the kicking team will also be lined up from the 35-yard line, 1 yard closer than previously. If you remember before, and this rule change did not last long, with the taking away the onside kick, first you had to publicly declare, hey, about to kick an onside kick here, just letting you guys know.
Yeah.
You can only do it in the fourth quarter. You can only do it while you're trailing. And so the while trailing part is going to stay, but now you can do it at any point during the game, which I think is a little bit healthier of a rule change for this. I'm still maybe adjusting to the fact that it can only be for the trailing team. And you have to, hey, just letting you guys know, hey, we're about to do this trick play out of the back of the book. Try to stop us. I don't know how that really still sits with me here, but I guess it's here to stay like this, where, you have to publicly announce it. You have to only do it while you're trailing. We'll see. What are your thoughts on now you can attempt an onside kick at any point during the game as long as you're losing?
Well, I'm half and half on that. I think you should be able to utilize it. It's a play.
It's a play.
It's a play.
It's a legitimate strategy, just like the tush push is.
So why not use it at any time? But just because you're losing, well, you should have been playing better, But I've seen this happen before. Teams have done this in the past when they weren't losing and utilized it to go ahead and push it a little bit further and win the game a little bit more. Hey,
yeah,
that's just something else.
I mean, it's a physical ball game as it is. Nobody's out there playing flag football or touch football. This isn't ballet like what you say.
Exactly. I mean, come on, Mark. And then just like you said, why do I have to come out and tell them that I'm going to come out and do this? That's almost as bad, and it's not quite in baseball. Tell them as they're walking out there, I'm bunting. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah.
Now, they show it, of course, before.
Yeah.
But they don't come out and say, I'm going to bunt.
Yeah, right.
Okay, get ready. Bring your third and first in because I'm bunting.
Hey, just so you know, I'm not on the rubber.
Right.
Third baseman has the ball.
Yeah, I mean, so.
Good luck.
But once again, these guys, these juniors are going to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
They get in these little conferences, just getting out of their limos, and they're going to walk in there. And now here's the deal. What advantage does this have for the game? Because it boils down to TV time, media time.
Well, I think we determined that it was player safety. At least that's the veil. That's the disguise of this, is player safety. I mean, you could make the argument an onside kick as opposed to an actual kickoff. I mean, you're running full speed at each other in both, yes, but one is at a significantly shorter distance than the other. I don't know. I mean, the whole idea is to reduce injury, but you're also reducing. Some players only play special teams.
That's the deal.
You're reducing roles. You're reducing contracts, because if you're not going to see the field as much, why should I pay you as much?
I mean, they have that in Canton about certain people were just that. That's why they're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're special teams.
Yeah,
and
Devin Hester is a Hall of Famer.
You just took my thunder.
Imagine that.
What are you doing today for me,
maybe
man?
Maybe next week I'll take your Pacers.
Dang. Oh, you're on like a button neck bones now, buddy. You're on. But, yeah, most certainly. That's how many touchdowns did he return? Think about that.
Yeah, the one in the Super Bowl was legendary.
It was epic. I mean, but so once again, I do agree on this. Me personally, that's how I got hurt. One of my most worst injuries was on the kickoff.
Yeah,
and I do like the essence of them being closer. Okay, but when you're that close together already, the proximity of it, it doesn't matter whether you do it one time or 10 times. Look, you're not at full blast, and you're going to hit a guy. I mean, from 15 yards away. There's no doubt. But still, though. It's not from 40 yards away where you're getting your mojo up. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a big difference when you're going 20 miles an hour instead of only about 11. So, but the essence of it, the safety end of it, I like that. But as many times when you're behind, you could just keep doing it. And I don't know. Everybody, it should be equal, I think. Now, that's just me. I'm not one of the owners. Maybe next year when I buy the Pacers. But anyway.
You're going to buy the Pacers?
After they lose, now you're OKC.
Oh my goodness! Let's move on. Let's move on. Hey,
go back to
you mentioned Caitlin Clark.
Speaking of Indiana,
let's talk about Caitlin Clark. Clark got off to a pretty great start to this WNBA season, posting a triple-double as she led the Indiana Fever to a dominant 93-58 win over Angel Reese in the Chicago Sky in the season opener. Tracy, you may or may not have watched the game, but I guarantee that you watched the foul at the end of the game there.
I saw the highlights.
The big flagrant foul there.
Ooh.
Angel Reese was about this close to erupting like a volcano. And that matchup there, they will be the first to tell you that it's not a rivalry. Maybe sporting fans have made this a rivalry, fashioned it into a fake rivalry, whatever you want to call it. everybody was watching. On Tuesday, ESPN announced that the Fever Sky game set a new viewership record for the network. An average of 2.7 million viewers watched Clark versus Reese, making it the most watched WNBA game in ESPN history. That includes regular season and postseason. So that flash in the pan, all the buzz, all the Caitlin Clark hype, it's real. And it's back for another season here. WNBA leadership and viewership is surging right now.
Mark, whether it's Magic and Bird or whatever else you want it, they have to have that. They have to have that to increase viewership. And, you know, they've been doing this for eons. This is nothing new. So, yes, they brought this up, and you even said it right then. You just stated how important it was for those two because you said their names before nobody else on the team.
That's correct.
Okay, well, there you go. There's your Magic Bird.
That's exactly it. And, of course, WNBA coming off of its greatest season in viewership ever last year, and it looks like it's not going to slow down at all. When you shatter those numbers for the regular season opener, I can't wait to see. And now, of course, I know it was also based on the matchup as well. But, the flagrant foul from Clark, I think, added a little bit more fuel to the fire there. And, of course, Angel Reese was very, very livid in her comments after the game. Caitlin Clark trying to play it off, say, hey, it was just a hard foul. That's what you're supposed to do in that situation. It kind of feels like, just kind of adding another spark to the fire. I don't know if these players actually viewed themselves as rivals. It sure looks like it based on social media and just the body language that you see from them. But I think it's good for the game. I think it's great for the sport. Caitlin Clark may not be the GOAT when it's all said and done, but there's something about the way that she conducts herself and plays this game that still has everyone watching.
On and off the court, no doubt about it, Mark. What a great week. We still got more next week.
That's right. We're here every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. right here on 92.9 KVRE. He's Tracy Simpson. I'm Mark Oliver. This has been Sports and Shorts, Tailgate Edition on 92.9 KVRE.
We want to wish everybody a safe and happy Memorial Weekend. We wouldn't be doing this without those that we want to keep in our memory. Game over.